On to our informational items. We have two informational items, 3.1, which is the marketing plan with Mark Johnson, the Director of Marketing.
Hopefully the whole screen. Great. Well, thank you again, President Reese. Good evening, trustees, Chancellor Walter, colleagues, students, and community members. My name is Mark Johnson, and I'm the head of Marketing, Communication, and Public Relations Department at the Peralta Community College District. And it's my honor to address the board tonight to update you on our marketing and communication plan for this fiscal and academic year. At a very high level, this plan is a guide for the district marketing team and how we support the chancellor, the district departments, and the colleges. The plan is designed to help increase student enrollment, build pride for employees and students, improve communication across the district and with the board, create strategic brand awareness of the Peralta Community College District and its benefits, and modernize and organize Peralta's marketing, communication, and media initiatives. The version 3 document in the board docs is a November revision of the plan first drafted in April-May 2020. It was widely distributed to administrators, faculty members, classified professionals, and collective bargaining leaders in May. And I thank everyone who provided feedback, which was incorporated in version 2 in August. And the intention is to update this and future marketing plans on at least a quarterly basis, so we stay current with strategic goals and budget constraints. The Marcom plan exists to support organizational goals, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here. This plan supports the current strategic goals as well as the new board goals that were created in 2020. We've developed a regular pulsing core communication plan for internal, student, and community messaging. This plan is built around key events, including student enrollment periods, Board of Trustees meetings, monthly updates of the Chancellor's Office, plus noteworthy events and awards like the recent Campaign for College Opportunity Awards at BCC, Laney, and Merritt, which we press released and which received some coverage, including big coverage by NBC Bay Area. The messaging is intended to generate media coverage where appropriate and demonstrate the good work happening all across the district in support of the students and the community that we serve. The illustration here shows our plan that included the president announcements at Laney College of Alameda, which received coverage, including from the Journal of Blacks in Higher Education, among other outlets. And this presentation was originally going to be given in December, and it was my welcome to Dr. Jones as president of COA. So we'll keep updating the core communication plan constantly, not quarterly. And for my colleagues, if you have exciting news that you'd like us to a press release, please email me. In addition to the core communication plan, we've developed 9 marketing project areas based on these goals that align with the district's strategic vision and the new board goals. I'm going to skip over the next few summary slides because I'll be discussing each of these 9 items in more detail. So pardon me while we fast forward here. The first project area is to help prospective students in our service area get a quality education by getting them started in college. In recent years, the district marketing team has not had the budget to invest in direct enrollment initiatives. Collaborative Brain Trust recommended that the district marketing team take a greater initiative in order to drive enrollment, and we have. With COVID-19, we've been focused primarily on online channels of digital marketing, including email and advertising. For spring 2021, we have 5 campaigns in play now at the district level. The first is an email to prospective students who've applied but have not yet enrolled in any of our colleges, taking advantage of the automation from our new email system. Second campaign is a sfgate.com advertorial. This is a paid article intended for workers that have been impacted by COVID-19 pandemic to let them know that we have the support resources they need to get back to college. The third campaign is with the Bay Area News Group, and that's featuring videos created in-house emphasizing the Promise program and financial aid programs. We've also been boosting social media posts, and we've been using Google AdWords. And if you'll indulge me for 30 seconds here, I'd like to play you a video produced by in-house by Angel Hunter from the Peralta TV team. We've seen these ads on web properties, including CNN and ESPN, and it's really nice to be logging into those sites and see our ads showing up. And let's see here. So the next project area is on branding. The brand is more than just a visual image. It's the overall experience. It's how the community perceives the district. And we're doing more to ensure people see the benefit and importance of the Peralta Community College District. We've hired a graphic design specialist, Mr. Marcus Creel, who started in July, and he's been instrumental in our work in this goal. We've created Peralta branding guidelines, Microsoft Word and PowerPoint templates, Zoom backgrounds, Peralta branding for the budget book, signature blocks for district staff with college branded signature blocks in the pipeline. And I'll also mention Peralta Gems, our email newsletter that's been reborn as a new website at gems.peralta.edu. And again, we're always looking for good news to put on Peralta Gems. The third area is modernizing our marketing and communication technologies. We're upgrading systems for email, texting, and website content management. First, I want to talk about email software. We've replaced GovDelivery, the old system for student announcements, with HubSpot, a company specializing in marketing and sales tools for small and mid-sized businesses and nonprofits. We've sent over 1.7 million emails via the new HubSpot system since August. The feedback has been very positive about our HubSpot emails. We have much richer data regarding the email sent, regarding open and click rates, which help us refine our messages to maximize the value and impact for the students and prospective students who receive them. On the texting front, as of November, we're live with SMS Zap, a texting service that integrates with HubSpot. And as we are working on our website content management system with HubSpot, we're working on an upgrade of the Peralta website using the HubSpot content management system. Okay. The next project is sort of a functional extension of the branding goal. The idea here is to have one consistent brand look across all of our materials, whether they are in print or online or in person. The new version of the Peralta website will reflect a visual aesthetic that's more consistent with our brand guidelines. Other examples here are the budget book, the beautiful new spring 2021 semester schedule booklets. Websites are the front door for our community. And the district marketing team is here to help support the colleges with their WordPress sites, while we also explore potential new tools like other content management systems. The district is redesigning the peralta.edu website with the HubSpot content management system. We're treating this sort of as a pilot, and if successful, the colleges may want to consider moving from WordPress to HubSpot. And I'll be communicating more about that upgrade as we proceed. Social media. Our social media accounts are active with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we will be exploring TikTok earlier in the new year. Our social media account audiences have grown organically. Some modestly, Facebook, we saw 6% growth, while others have been significant. Our followers on Instagram have nearly doubled, and our followers on YouTube and LinkedIn have more than doubled. We won an award for social media from CC Pro for our Become a Champion tweet, featuring a 17-second video promoting Laney College football. And we're making good progress on the social media front. We aim to develop innovative programming for Peralta TV and radio station. Our TV station celebrated 40 years in 2020, and Peralta TV has kept broadcasting as cable access 24/7 throughout the pandemic. We were able to transition to remote broadcasting, and I want to commend my team for their efforts there. This time a year ago, I hoped that we would be providing 2-camera filming of Laney football and Merritt soccer and COA volleyball, at least one game from each of our team sports, but the pandemic is not cooperating with us there. So I think there's a real opportunity as we come back to campuses on how we can expand our television and radio programming. The next project is about evaluating the effectiveness of Marcom activities with data-driven research and monitoring methods. We've made really good progress here. We now have Google Analytics on the district site. The data is already guiding decisions as we work on the redesign of peralta.edu. We have thousands of pages on the Peralta website, but most are never visited by human beings. Our primary users are employees who use the district website to access tools like their email. We have a rich reporting tools now integrated within HubSpot, and that helps me have one single dashboard that I can look at our advertising, social media, email, and website usage. And the data really helps drive our decision making. Another project area is on staffing. We started the fiscal year with 4 vacancies, and we've filled 2 of those positions. We've hired a graphic design specialist, Mr. Mark Creel, who I mentioned earlier. We've hired a radio program specialist who started on December 1st. That's Dr. Felicia Bridges, and she joins the district marketing team, having previously worked as the PIO at Berkeley City College. We've put the second TV program specialist on hold during the pandemic. The goal is to have this person available for recording live sports and 2-camera studio shoots, either of which is a priority right now. And we're also reconsidering the web architect. That's on hold while we evaluate the PeopleSoft 9.2 upgrade, since one of the goals of that web architect is to help students enroll in mobile devices. So with that, I'll conclude and say our focus is on telling good stories for students, for employees in our community with the core communication plan. And with new tools like HubSpot, reporting tools like Google Analytics, building relationships with local East Bay media outlets, all of these things are working. Our Meltwater social media sentiment monitor was positive in November and in December. Over time, we'll continue to yield positive benefits for the district, employees, and most importantly, the students we serve. Thank you very much. And with that, I'll take questions.
Thank you, Mark. I believe we have quite a few questions. Trustee Bonilla and then Trustee Withrow.
Yes. So Mark, first of all, I always have to look for you. You move on my screen. It's like so many people. So first, let me just thank you for providing, one, for your patience, because you've gone back a couple of times and have made revisions to this. I want to appreciate that. And thank you, especially for honoring and including the recently adopted goals by the Board of Trustees, because we know that starts to set a really important tone for the direction of the district. So, and then congratulations on the award, on the media award. So that's fantastic, right? And I really, towards the end, you really started to capture my attention on, because I'm always looking for, and so why are we doing all this? And what does all this mean? And, you know, like, I know it's good. The tools are great. The resources are amazing. But then I start to ask questions. And how does this help our students? And you're doing it, you're capturing it, but I want to actually hear it. This is why we're doing this. This is why we've put these resources in place, right? The rebranding is important because it's it's modern, it's been tested, it's been, you know, it works with the population of students that we're trying to attract. So I really want to hear just kind of the students come through as a reason why we're adopting every single strategy that you brought forward. It gets amazing. Everything that you've pulled together is amazing, but I want to know that we're doing this because it makes sense for the students. It makes sense for our faculty. It makes sense for our administrators. It makes sense for our district. It makes sense for our colleges. And I think you're doing it. I want to hear that, right? So I want to pull this out because I don't want to have to infer that this is why we have an amazing marketing plan that you spent amazing amounts of time with. And that I really want this to resonate, that the reason why this amazing work is being done is because this is what works for our students. So I just want to thank you again for providing such a comprehensive, I love all the analytics at the end. I love all the student demographics and all the information. I just really want to make sure that as we are moving forward and treat this as a living document, I did hear you say that this is something that's going to be updated and reevaluated, and that it really needs to come forward as something that is a functional tool or a set of tools and strategies because it's good for the students. So I just want to leave you with that, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Benia.
Trustee Withrow?
I'd like to follow up on that. Good report, good coverage, very informative. There's a concern of mine about audiences, and do we have a simple kind of addressing overall audiences, or do we tailor it to specific audiences? But neither here nor there, it was a good report. One of the areas I didn't hear, I may have missed it, but I didn't hear, is the marketing plan going to employers. The marketing plan going to employers in our immediate area here, whether they be businesses, large businesses especially, but businesses or state employees, federal employees, city employees, where we would be focusing on the overall management of it, but the HR department, where they can see what we have to offer and what skill sets their current employees are deficient in, where they can be enhanced, where they can move into a different role, a broader role, and enhance the overall operation of whatever organization we're talking to. Where do you cover that, Mark?
Sure. Well, that's a great question, Trustee Withrow. The tools that we brought on, the new HubSpot system, that is a customer relationship management system, and that gives us the opportunity to segment our audience and track our communications with those different types of audiences. And certainly community partners and employers is an audience that we could integrate into HubSpot. And it's a fair point. We haven't started that. I mean, we've really been focused on students and student enrollment specifically. So we haven't kind of started investigating the other opportunities. But with our improvement of bringing on the HubSpot system, we have the ability to be more organized and targeted in the way that we communicate with industry partners. I think right now, some of that communication is done at the department level at the different colleges, and we have that opportunity to kind of aggregate that information, put it all in the one database, and leverage that across the 4 campuses.
Good, thank you.
Madam President, if you're waiting to figure out whose hands up, mine is.
Yes. Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for the report. It's really generative, thought-provoking. And so, you know, part of the value of a great report is that it gets you thinking. And your report was very useful in that way. I really appreciated your office's attempt to rely on data, like actually look and see where are we doing well and where could we do better. And that's just really critical. The other thing that I really appreciated was how you talked about trying to tell story as a way of doing marketing. And I think that's really critical. I think, you know, we could probably make quite a bit of headway on the last chance you stuff and just be thinking, how do we tell that story across the disciplines? Because it's not just in athletics that you have incredibly dedicated faculty members and staff members who are thinking deeply and individually and powerfully about students. And there are a lot of really critical stories to be told there, which makes me then want to circle back to a question about data. One of the things that I'd love to hear more about, and it doesn't have to be tonight because I don't want to drag on, but is where we are getting student input in this planning process. I'm seeing sort of the broad analytics, but it seems to me that the direct experience of students in our system is critical. And it's not just critical for outreach and enrollment, but also for the equity work that we do. How do we help students be successful starting from before they get here? And of course, they got to get here to be successful. So, you know, the tie-in between what marketing is doing and the overall equity work is really critical. And that's where I think figuring out, and maybe you've already figured this out, and so I'm just preaching to the choir, sorry, but how do we get the input from students? And I think that has to be done, you know, one, by looking at the formal process of student governance and, you know, as the representatives of students. But I also think probably like focus groups, not only of students here, but of students who aren't here yet. And then the last thing I want to say is we're a really ethnically complicated district, like region, right? And so we have to be, you know, really sophisticated in the multicultural outreach. And everybody who's in this room tonight is an expert in this area, but we've got people throughout the enterprise who are really focused in on this. And it seems to me that that's where marketing should be connected to the hands-on work that's going on our campuses, in classrooms, with student services, that if we're not really tying into that work and those experts, the people working day to day with the students, then we're losing a lot of data and critical input, and you've got people working in silos, and then that shouldn't happen. And I think that one of the things the district office could always do a better job of, even when we're doing a great job, is making the connection to the work on the campuses. So thank you so much. You know, take my thoughts or leave them. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, I think the value of the mark of a great report is it gets you thinking. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So the students are our North Star. Everything is about the students, and there's always going to be more opportunity for us to involve students in different ways. I'm very excited about our new student trustee on the board. So welcome, Yurini, and I hope that I can use you as a resource. But there's always going to be more opportunity for connecting with students. And I am pleased to say that as far as your last point, Trustee Ewan, the student services teams at the 4 colleges are, I would call, power users of our new HubSpot system. And they're using it for student communication. We gave them the tools and they have run with it, which is really exciting.
And then Mark, I have a question as well. I'm looking to see if there are any other hands up, but I don't see any.
Yes, there are, sorry, Trustee Polk and Trustee Yuri
Wonderful. In that order, Chancellor?
Yes.
Okay, Trustee Polk and then Trustee Yeruni.
Yes, I had a quick question. Kind of piggybacking off what Trustee Gonzalez Yuan was saying. Are you planning to do any sort of marketing to in languages other than English?
That's a short answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in conversations about advertising, putting messaging on, Spanish-speaking television, Univision, using that kind of opportunity. So we haven't made any commitments yet, but I'm absolutely interested in investigating that path.
Great. And then the last thing I'll say real quickly, I again piggybacking off Trustee Gonzalez Yuan. I'd like to be, I would like to hear a little bit more about student input, not necessarily tonight, but as we move forward with this, because I really do feel that student input is very important for this, especially as we're engaging in social media, et cetera. So not necessarily a question, just an observation for later on.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Johnson.
Thank you, Trustee Polk. And let's go to our student trustee.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Johnson. So I'm the newly elected student trustee. I just want to say, feel free to use me as a resource. Yeah, I also want to quickly comment on that, the use of the social media. It's really great to see our school is using Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok, because I feel like TikTok is one of the latest popular like social media, and it's just great to see our school is active on TikTok. And like one example is I know Laney College, we have one Instagram page, and especially last semester we post like a lot of student activities through Instagram page. Yeah, it's great. So I'm looking forward to see more of our school on different social medias.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
have Trustee Jenkins and then a comment from President Veskoff.
Great. Trustee Jenkins.
Thanks for the robust report, Mark. Awesome. To piggyback on Trustee Nee's comments about the social media, what other social medias are we planning on using that market towards our younger students? So I know TikTok is one of them, Instagram. Are we looking into the up and coming social media sites? I know Clubhouse is a popular social media outlet that's coming up, and I can't wait to see your first TikTok video.
Yes, so TikTok is for sure. I welcome input on any other social media channels. It's really exciting. I mentioned that we've had modest growth on Twitter. Our Instagram growth has really, we've more than doubled with Instagram, and that's visual storytelling. That's exciting to see, and we are interested in any other channels. Are really the whole point about social media is putting the message where the students or the prospective students are, and I'm a middle-aged man. I need help knowing where our students are. So I welcome that kind of feedback.
Thank you. President Besikoff.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Delphine Polk, just wanted to let you know, actually at Laney College, much of our outreach now has actually been in languages other than English. A couple meetings ago before you were sworn in, we actually, we had 4 of us from Laney who appeared on Chinese television station KTSF. And unfortunately, the community got to see my face on TV. I don't know if that'll help enrollment or not, but certainly that happened. So just want to let you know we are making those efforts and working in collaboration with Mr. Johnson's office. Also, Trustee Withrow, to your point about being kind of industry conscious on our advertising, our courses and everything, our career education programs all have advisory boards throughout the district. And as part of our meetings with industry, one of the things that happens is our discipline faculty and then the deans in that area will typically share our course offerings with industry. But certainly your question and your point is a valid one.
Thank you. Do we have any more comments?
I don't see any more hands.
Great. Then I just have a few questions. And I want to connect back to what Trustee Bonilla had said. And the two things that come up for me, first of all, thank you. Mark Johnson, this is great. This is a great beginning. And again, thank you for your patience and actually bringing it to the board. I know this is a long time coming. So your goal number 8, which deals with the benchmarks and your metrics. Good to know that you are using metrics now. I didn't know that you weren't using them before, but I'm glad that you're using them now. And so what's important for me is as we move forward, creating benchmarks that are going to allow us to see the ways in which our marketing endeavors are actually making or not making changes in enrollment outcomes, right? Because when we think about enrollment, that's what we continue to say. We need to do marketing, we need to do marketing, we need to do marketing. So I think we need to fine tune our kind of analytics and our metrics there to ensure that as we do something, how is it or how is it not affecting our enrollment outcomes? I think that that's going to be important. So if you could continually update the board on that, because we'd love to see how that's happening. And the second comment actually is something that Trustee Handy had brought up, and I'm just going to pick it up because it came to my mind as you were talking. The coordination that's happening between the district marketing efforts and the college marketing efforts. Can you speak to that a little bit? And there's also a part of me that wonders sometimes whether Peralta CCD, if that is seen as one and the same as the 4 different colleges, right? Or how do we get in front of that if we do get in front of that?
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you, President Reese. I wanted to be clear at the very beginning of the talk to say that this is the plan for the district marketing department. Because the plan is not intended to be a comprehensive plan for the entire district. To the point that Laney Gastus made earlier, there is active enrollment management activities that are going on at the colleges. So how does my team connect with the colleges? I lead a monthly meeting with the PIOs from the 4 campuses. There are full-time PIOs at a couple of the colleges and contractors and PIO types at the other colleges. And so we get together on a monthly basis, share updates. They show me what their advertising plans are. I share what the district advertising plans are. And we try and make sure that they're coordinated. We also talk about our messaging around COVID-19 and those sort of things. Basically, we want to make sure that our messaging is aligned across the district and the campuses. Specifically on enrollment management, Vice Chancellor Brown has started inviting me to the enrollment management meetings that she has with the college administrators. And so that's been very productive so far, meetings with the vice presidents of instruction and the vice presidents of student services. So we're connecting that way as well. Does that help?
Yeah, that does. And then again, to the metrics, this is not to be answered now, but just ensuring that we use metrics in that kind of fine-tuned way, and that you come back to us with updates, because we always think of marketing as a secret sauce, right? And we would love to see the ways in which our specific efforts are actually making a difference, or if they're not, how we can make a difference, right? Because I think both would be good to know.
Can I make a comment on that point? And I think it will be important for us all to keep in mind what type of marketing communication we're talking about. Because as you know, there are different kinds, different types. So if our goal is to help people remember Peralta or one of our colleges, that's a different strategy or different point than saying, you know what, we want to use our marketing to increase a market segment of individuals who are taking, for example, workforce, or who are doing in the area of dual enrollment or something. So I think when we're getting down to that target marketing, that's what we have to focus on in terms of metrics. But top of mind and making sure that people are aware of how wonderful, Peralta is, that's a whole different ball game. So I just want to make sure that everybody's, mindful of that.
Yeah, you know, and to that point, not to belabor this, but to that point, I think it'd be really good and interesting at some point in time to see the ways in which our overall marketing, whether it's the colleges and district, how they're supporting each other in those particular goals, right? The many different layered goals, because then we can kind of know how the marketing is doing in these X number of goals. You know, that'd be good to see at some point. Right. I think that we do not have any more questions. All right. Let us move on to